Welcome to week dozen of On Top the Cage. It is your deluxe Thanksgiving edition. As always, to my left is my friend Dan. I am Ken. What's happening?
Nothing. It's 50 degrees out here in Ohio. I got the shorts back on this week.
There you go. It's Thanksgiving Eve, the biggest drinking night in America.
That it is.
I'm sure we will get our share this evening, and we'll do our beer review in a minute. But how about the COVID situation with Thanksgiving? Did it change your plans or your family's plans at all this year?
Ridiculous. Yeah, it's changed everybody's plans, I think. It's going to be a much scaled down. We go to my parents' house traditionally for Thanksgiving, but yeah, some of my siblings aren't going to be there and stuff because of the COVID thing. It's crazy. I mean, you said biggest drinking night, and I got a buddy in PA, and that governor shut down beer sales at 5 o'clock tonight. So, it's crazy what's going on in some of these states and some of these D-bags running the thing.
I think PA even shut the border. I think if you go in and you got a quarantine or something, I don't know.
Papers to get into Pittsburgh now.
Yeah, things have changed a lot in regards to my family too. Actually, this is the only holiday where my wife Katie and I split up because she traditionally has people coming into town, namely her father, Tom Daly's probably the biggest fan of the show. I generally travel to the southern part of the state, Dayton, Ohio, and I'm one of 6 children. We all congregate there. I'm not going because of the COVID reasons. Certainly, well, it'll be a new tradition for me because I haven't been up here for Thanksgiving, and I don't recall the last time. So we're certainly missing Tom. He was supposed to be sitting right between us.
Right here.
Yes, he was. I wish he was here. We'll miss you this year, certainly.
Wait, where's he at?
Actually, he lives in Florida, and he went to visit his son who lives in Atlanta, Georgia. So they're there.
Hopefully he doesn't get falconed.
Teddy, yes, it's Teddy's house. So, no, it would be fun. I called it a deluxe edition, I think, already, the Thanksgiving edition of On Top the Cage. And I think it would be even longer if he was here. He'd be gushing over his Miami Dolphins, who are in the thick of the AFC playoff race, certainly. So.
Oh, yeah, just benching their quarterback. That's good, though.
No, he's going to start again, so we'll see. You might see something different we got some appetizers here. Not turkey, gizzards.
Gizzards, because we performed so stellar last weekend.
Yeah, we did. We kind of gave the fans the short end of the wishbone, certainly last week. What exactly is this? You brought this to the set. Tell us what we have here.
You know when you buy the turkey and you open it up, it's all the stuff that's in the little bag that most people throw away. We're eating it.
Sounds foul, no pun intended. We got to try it, right?
I'll try it.
I'll do it before the beer review and then wash it down with that.
I like it, so.
I'm a little nervous. Hot sauce, I might get the hiccups.
Yum.
Tastes like chicken.
Thank God.
All right.
Gamey. Delicious.
It is a little gamey.
Little hot sauce. Fantastic.
Speaking of Thanksgiving and traditions, is the Macy's Day Parade even happening this year with COVID?
Yeah, it's happening, but
There's probably no revelry. There's probably nobody allowed on the streets and things like that.
oh, in New York, come on, no, unless you're riding.
Tell you what, wherever you're going, just say, hey, no Macy's Day Parade. I got this great show, and plug the deluxe Thanksgiving edition On Top of the Cage. Throw it up on the TV and see what they think.
Hey, the Macy's Day Parade has gotten lame. It used to be good when we were young. When we were kids, they'd have balloons and people marching and stuff. Now it's just like Broadway shows, and all they're doing is lip syncing. It's stupid.
All I remember is the inflatables. I don't know.
Yeah, the inflatables are awesome. The bands are awesome. You march by. It's a parade. Now this thing's like a Broadway production, and nobody sings. They all lip sync.
All right. Did you have to? Were you? Are you making the food this year, or do you? You have to do a side dish, or what's going on with that?
I don't have to do anything to go to my parents' house, but on Sunday, because I got that new smoker, I am smoking a turkey breast.
Nice.
Just to try it out and say I did it.
What's your favorite side dish?
My favorite side dish, coincidentally, is it's a dressing that my grandparents used to make with the gizzards.
Oh, for the love of God.
And now my brother makes it. That is my favorite side dish. It's awesome. You have to like the taste. I mean, it's very gamey. dry, but it's fantastic.
I love stuffing, and I like the homemade stuffing. Stovetop makes a great product too. I love stuffing. I don't understand sweet potatoes and marshmallows. I don't know what that is exactly. You eat that?
I've had that. Yeah, can't make it sweeter. Might as well put some syrup on there.
I ain't like
maple syrup.
I ain't
Stick it
like
on
marshmallows. I mean, maybe between graham crackers and chocolate over a fire. I don't know. That's the only time I really eat marshmallows. I think maybe
My
Rice Krispie
favorite
treats.
side dish is beer.
You're ready. You're ready. I'm ready too after eating that gamey piece of poultry or whatever that was.
Fantastic.
So, some organs out of a bird. He's back in. I'm not. Beer review. The beer review comes this week from the Saucy Brew Works out of Cleveland, Ohio. Their beer is called Three Hoes Christmas Ale. That's not very
Gotta
nice.
get it just because it says 3 hoes on it.
That's not very nice. I don't know. I'm guessing it.
Ho ho.
Yes, yes. When I first saw the beer, I'm like, that's just flat out rude. And then I figured it out in my brain that it's the Santa call, you know.
It's so warm here in Ohio.
Oh.
The can is sweating. What in the hell are you doing?
I don't have very good fingernails. This beer is 7.5% alcohol. I like the can presentation. I guess I do. I don't know. It's like this evil alien Santa on it going
That's
on.
the best thing about it.
Yeah, you're not a fan? It's very sweet, I feel like.
It tastes like the other Christmas ales. They're all knockoff of Great Lakes.
Oh, speaking of that, my buddy Shannon has been asking me to do the Great Lakes Brewery Christmas Ale, which is super popular in our area, to do the review. And when he sent this to me via text, I'm like, why? Everybody drinks Christmas Ale. Isn't the same? But I was informed that apparently they change the recipe every year. Were you aware of that?
Did not know that.
I didn't know that either. So, Shannon, we'll see if we can accommodate you. The beers are stacking up in the fridge, which is about 10 feet to the left of Dan. It's not in there right now, but we'll see what we can do for you. All right. Other sports that are going on. Welcome back, college basketball. That was a sport that went off the air when COVID started to rage. It was conference tournament time the week before March Madness starts. So welcome back, college basketball. We're in the middle of a great MLS tournament. I know you're a huge fan of the Columbus Crew.
Huge fan of the Crew, and man, did everything fall right for them last night when number 1 and number 2 got knocked off by 7 and 8.
Yeah.
Crazy.
They're the highest seed left on the far right side of the bracket. We're down to 8 teams. I know the Crew play at 8 p.m. on Sunday. I will not be watching because my Chicago Bear football team is back in action. Even though they've been a little bit of a disappointment and haven't won a game since October 18th, I will certainly be watching that. All right. Last week, Dan and I mentioned we're eating gizzards or organs and not turkey legs this week because of our performance. I referred to as the short end of the wishbone. Dan went 5-9 last week. I went 4-10. Dan, you're exactly even on the year at 78, 5.
500, baby.
You need a winning week. You need a winning week, brother.
It's coming this week.
It's coming. Well, my positive stretch has been running. It's running tight right now. I'm 79, 5. I'm +2. Hopefully we have a great week. We do have COVID changes already this week.
Yeah.
Thursday, Thanksgiving Day, obviously, it changed and we have 3. We're supposed to have 3 football games. We only have 2. The
Two stellar games.
Yeah, we'll talk about them in a minute. The Baltimore Ravens Pittsburgh Steelers game did get shoved because of COVID problems on the Baltimore Raven Football Club. It got shoved. They haven't announced, I don't think, the time slot, but it's on Sunday, either at 1 o'clock or 4 o'clock.
Wah, 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 ratbirds.
All right, the first game at 12:30 p.m. start on Thanksgiving Day is the 3-7 Houston Texans. They go to play the Detroit Lions, who traditionally always host a Thanksgiving Day game. They are 4-6. The line is the Texans -3. The Texans are coming off a win against New England. Their first win against a team not named the Jacksonville Jaguars. So they beat the Jags twice. They got another win last week. Deshaun Watson, he looked pretty good. I'm not sure what happened in New England. The Detroit Lions went into Carolina, and they got shut out.
Yeah, yeah.
How do you get shut out
I
in
don't know.
today's National Football League?
Ridiculous.
We talked about them trying to find a way to get over the hump. They're not going to do it. There's going to be a new regime there.
They're a mess. Both teams are a mess. I'm going with the Texans.
Dan's declaring early.
Deshaun Watson's the best person on the field. I'm taking the Texans.
I think I'm going to follow the reasoning. Kenny Galladay, the best receiver on the Detroit Lions football team, is out. We'll see if DeAndre Swift comes out of concussion protocol. He's a big piece of that offense. I agree with Dan that Deshaun Watson is the best player that's going to be on that football field on Thursday afternoon. I'm going to also go with the Texans -3. The next game that I guess would be the nightcap. It would be the 4 o'clock or 4:30 game. The Washington football team, who is 3-7, they go play the Dallas Cowboys, who have the same record of 3-7. The football team, the Cowboys, and the New York Giants all have 3-7 records. Leading the division is the Philadelphia Eagles, who got that tie. They're 3-6-1. We will talk about them later. The Washington football team, they won versus Cincinnati last week. I don't know if it's largely because Joe Burrow went down. They were trailing 9-7. They end up winning going away when Burrow went down.
Yeah, they beat Cincinnati because Burrow was out of the game. There's no question about it. You take Burrow out, Cincinnati, they're done. I don't see them winning a game the rest of the year.
Yeah, probably not. Obviously, we'll talk about Cincinnati in a bit. With the Washington, it is Thanksgiving. I mean, I love the fact that Alex Smith is playing productive football after that gruesome injury. The other thing I love is Ron Rivera this year ran the FU bell on cancer and beat cancer this year. So those are two great things to talk about on Thanksgiving Eve, certainly. Their opponent, obviously, the Dallas Cowboys. It's a big game in the division. The Cowboys are coming off a big win in Minnesota, a shocking win in Minnesota. Elliott went over 100 yards. Dalton looked pretty good, actually. I mean, the offense looked pretty good. I'm not sure how that happened. Their defense is still an issue, although it's been better in recent weeks. The Cowboys are -3 in this game. I like them. I feel like they're coming around a little bit. This division's up for grabs, and who knows who takes the reins of it. I'm going to go with the Cowboys -3.
I'm going with the Cowboys as well on this one. Washington, they look good. Chase Young played well coming back from his injury. But Cowboys at home, and it's only 3. Washington's a mess. They're a disaster. I'm taking the Cowboys.
I'm not so strong on Washington being a disaster. Any one of those teams could win that division. And we'll talk about the Giants, and we'll talk about Philly.
The whole division's a mess.
I mean, they haven't played great football,
but
the
Giants look good.
Certainly good. That's a little strong.
No, the Giants are going to win that division.
Giants.
Maybe
we'll talk about them. We'll talk about them in a bit. We're going to talk about the Ravens and the Steelers game next. I don't know when it's going to be played, if it's going to be at the 1 o'clock slot or the 4 o'clock slot, since the NFL has not declared. The Baltimore
should be played on Thursday because the Ratbirds, forget that. Play it on Thursday, Steelers.
Dan, as a Cleveland Browns fan, is very unhappy the fact that the NFL granted some reprieve to the Baltimore Ravens, and he feels like they should have to play with lesser players, and I get it. I understand where you're coming from.
Don't stand on our logo.
Yeah, I don't like Jim Harbaugh in a fight against the D-back Butler from Tennessee. Anyway, he's referencing something that happened before the Tennessee-Baltimore game last week. But let's talk about that game. Baltimore had control of that game. Well, I don't know if I mentioned the line. The Ravens are 6-4. Steelers are the only, once again, undefeated National Football League team. They are 5.5-point favorites at home. The over-under on this game is 44.5. We started talking about the Ravens-Tennessee game last week. It was a pretty good game. It looked like the Ravens had control of it for the longest time. And then Tennessee came storming back. They shoved the game in overtime, and I'm sure it probably brought a grin to your face when Derrick Henry broke away in overtime and finished it.
Yeah, he's a beast.
Oh, he certainly is a beast.
Beast.
The Steelers, they just keep rolling along. They played the Jaguars last week, not much of a test. How about Chase Claypool has 10 touchdowns on the year?
Fantastic. I'm so mad that he's playing for the Steelers, but that kid, good grief. I mean, he's awesome.
That's a huge number. Right now, the Baltimore Ravens, if the playoffs were to start today, they're out, which is shocking to me. They're in third place. Your Browns are in second place. The Steelers have kind of a chance to really bury these guys. There's no love lost between these teams. The Steelers are 5.5-point favorites. I haven't seen enough from the Ravens offense. It still continues to sputter, be stuck in neutral, whatever you want to say. The Steelers are a very, well-rounded team. The defense is great. I mean, there's enough playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I'm laying the 5.5 with the Steelers.
I'm going with the Steelers. I can't stand the Ratbirds. No way. They're not going to beat the Steelers. That defense is too good, and the offense is clicking. I'm taking the Steelers.
If you're unaware, Dan does not like the Baltimore Ravens.
I don't like the Steelers either, but when the two play each other, I'm going for the Steelers.
All right, next game up, the Miami Dolphins, the 6-4 Miami Dolphins in the thick of the AFC playoff race. They travel north to play the winless New York Jets. I've referred to them as the paper airplanes in the past.
Yeah, this is a joke. The Dolphins.
Oh, you're declaring earlier. The
Yeah.
Dolphins are
Do we have to spend this much time on this?
We do. I do. I want
It's
to.
Dolphins. Get it out of here.
They're 7-point favorites. The Dolphins are coming off a disappointing loss last week out in Denver. You mentioned earlier that Tua got pulled late in the game. Denver's got a pretty good defense, and they got a great defensive-minded coach in Vic Fangio. He runs kind of what I call a blurry defense, which he really has a tendency to confuse the quarterbacks in regards to who's coming, not coming, and things like that. I think that's the reason why Flores ended up pulling Tua late in that game, because he wasn't seeing it, and he thought probably Fitzpatrick, being a veteran that he is, maybe would see the field a little bit better in regards to what they were scheming against them.
Come on, it was the altitude. I said it last week. It was the altitude.
You were on the Broncos last week. You certainly were. The Jets. I mean, they didn't roll over last week. They were down early against the LA Chargers. They came back. They were right there. They've played closer games in the last couple of weeks. Once again, the Lions, the Fins -7. The over/under is 44.5. Dan's on the Fins. I'm going to take the Jets this week.
What?
I'm taking the points. I don't think the Jets are going to win this game.
What?
I think it's going to be close. I do. I mean, the last 2 weeks.
We're going to have to watch other shows because I thought you said you'd never take the Jets.
I did. I didn't think I ever would. They played better the last 2 weeks.
I wish your father-in-law was here so he could get an axe from over there and freaking club you on the head with it.
Yeah, if he was here, I don't know. So if I was here, he'd probably, when you're older, one of the best things about being old is that you give 0 F's about anything. Like if he was here right between,
he'd be F-bombing you left and right.
He would be,
because I'm about to.
He'd probably walk off the set, go grab himself another Miller Lite, which he drinks like it's his job, and just walk back on the set, and we'd be like, all right.
Yeah.
When you're old enough, you get away with stuff like that, giving 0 F's. But in any event, I'm on the Jets getting the points. I certainly don't think they're going to win the game.
Get
I think
the
it's
hell
close.
out of here.
No, he doesn't like it.
spent too much time on this game. Miami.
All right, Dan and I are in disagreement. Next game up on the slate, the Arizona Cardinals in their 6-4 record. They travel across the country to play the New England Patriots. The Patriots are the opposite record. They are 4-6. The Arizona Cardinals are 2.5-point favorites in this game. The over/under on this game is 49.5. The Cardinals are coming off that tough Thursday night loss last week in Seattle. It was a good game. Kyler Murray injured his shoulder a little bit. He didn't run very much in that game, which we're used to seeing him get like 67 yards or 60 to 70 yards on the ground. I don't know if it's a shoulder issue. That concerns me. I think this is a scary game for the Cardinals. The Patriots, that was a debacle last week in Houston. After we thought they climbed off the mat, maybe they're not dead. They're dead now. The last time the Patriots weren't in the playoffs was in 2008. Strings broken this year, guys. The Patriots are not making the playoffs. Did you see Cam Newton's outfit? His pregame outfit?
Awesome.
It was awesome. He was wearing these plaid shorts, suspenders, like boots, some funky hat. I guess they're a meme or GIF. I don't know what those things are, but they were comparing him to the mountain climber man in the Price is Right game.
Yeah, I can hear that.
It's
music.
awesome.
The old lady.
Yeah.
Going up the thing.
Who do you like in this game? The Cardinals are -2.5. You gonna get good Patriots or bad Patriots?
Well, that's the thing. And Bill Belichick to scheme against this offense. I'm going with the Patriots on this one.
I'm not. I'm going to lay the 2.5 with the Cardinals. There's just not enough talent on the Patriot team
for
me to pick them. Yeah, there's just not enough there. We'll see about Murray and his shoulder, and if I'm not worried about him throwing. I'm worried about Cliff Kingsbury saying, "Hey, you're not running. You're not taking shots or hits or things like this." But I'm going to lay the Cardinals minus the 2.5. Next game up, the Carolina Panthers are 4-7. They go up to Minnesota to play the 4-6 Minnesota Vikings. The Vikings are 4-point favorites. The over/under on this game is 48.5. The Panthers won a game last week against the Lions with an XFL quarterback.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, P.J. Walker, he was in the XFL 9 months ago. He started last week. I think Bridgewater is back. There is no
He's
Christian
back.
McCaffrey. I think Bridgewater is back. The Vikings coming off a bad loss to the Cowboys. The Cowboys did what they wanted to do on offense against them for the most part. And I'm really surprised that, Minnesota's recipe is run Dalvin Cook, pass the ball to Dalvin Cook, maybe do some play action and hit a deep ball to Jefferson or Thielen. That's the recipe. I'm surprised they didn't have more success against them. I'm surprised they weren't able to stop the Cowboys. But, they thought they were back in the thick of this race. I think they're dead at 4-6. Anybody who only has 4 wins on the season, I think is dead in the National Football League, unless possibly they add that extra wild card spot. They added one earlier, and we may, if we have COVID problems going forward, which, it seems to be ramping up. In any event, once again, the Vikings are -4. Who you like in this game?
I like Teddy going back to Minnesota. He got something to prove.
I didn't think about that. Yeah, Teddy Bridgewater with that brutal knee injury.
Yeah, only 4 here. I'm going with the Panthers on this one.
You like the Panthers?
Yep.
Getting to 4.
He's coming off fresh. Didn't play last week. Yeah, I'm going with the Panthers here. I think they pull it out.
I don't. I'm going to go the other way. I'm going to go with the Vikings -4. The Panther team that Dan picked, I think the arrow is certainly pointing up with that team. I mean, it's not this year, but the arrow's pointing up for sure. I mean, I like Matt Rule. I don't know if Joe Brady is going to be, the offensive coordinator there next year. I mean, I think he's going to get looks at head coach already coming out of the, the collegiate ranks from LSU. But, yeah, I'm in disagreement. I'm going to lay the points at the Vikings -4. The next game up, the Cleveland Browns, with their 7-3 sporty record, go down to Jacksonville, get a little bit of better weather. I mean, the last 2 weeks with
3
the Browns. Is it 3? Been 3? I mean,
Raiders game, then a bye.
Oh, yeah. Wind, rain. Yes. They played in, but I tell you what, it's conducive to their style of play, I think. But anyway, the Cleveland Browns, 7-3, they're -6.5 going down to Jacksonville. The Jags are -9. Last week, the Browns won the game against Philadelphia. They used their recipe, which is, wear them down, run your two-headed monster and Chubb and Hunt, and eventually they got it done. The Browns, though, have scored 2 offensive touchdowns in the last 3 weeks.
I know their offense is scaring me here a little bit. We can run the ball.
What's wrong with the passing game?
We haven't done it. I mean, and I don't know if that's a product of the environment, meaning the weather. Why we haven't.
It's an excuse.
I'm not making an excuse.
I hear you. I mean, I don't know. That passing game's got to come around for them to be viable in the playoffs. I like the Browns to make the playoffs. I mean, obviously they're competing with a lot of teams, the Titans and everybody else that's involved in that. The Jaguars, they come off a beatdown by the Steelers, which we assume is going to happen.
Wow, dude threw 4 picks. Yeah,
he's a rookie. Jake Luton.
What the hell?
You know who's starting this week?
Glennon.
Mike Glennon.
Not since 2017, baby.
Mike Glennon perhaps has the longest neck in the National Football League since Merton Hanks. I don't know if you remember that guy from San Francisco.
Hanks had that sweet touchdown.
When he had to wear like turtlenecks just to kind of conceal how long. He was like an ostrich. Anyway, sorry, Merton. I didn't mean to personally attack you.
I love Merton Hanks.
All right, the Browns are -6.5 in this game. I don't see another way to go. I'm going to lay the 6.5 with the Browns, even though they don't score a lot of points.
Well, I'm a little concerned because Myles Garrett's out, Denzel Ward, our stud cornerback, is out, and then we just had Taki test positive for COVID. So we got 3 defensive starters out. But I'll tell you what, if they don't beat the piss out of these guys, you shouldn't be in the playoffs. Beat the piss out of them or don't go.
This is going to be, like Dan mentioned, this is going to be the second week that Myles Garrett, who is probably in the running for Defensive Player of the Year, is going to be out. Last week, Olivier Vernon stepped up. He got 2 sacks and,
Okay, where the hell has he been the whole season?
Yeah.
I mean, you're going to step up because Myles is out or you're going to step up because we're playing the shitty Eagles?
Fair enough. Dan and I are both on the Browns -6.5. I think I may have went the other way. If we had another point and it was 7.5, I might have liked the hook. I'm going to lay the 6.5 as well with Dan. Next game on the slate is a very good football game. The 7-3 Tennessee Titans go to visit the 7-3 Indianapolis Colts. The division championship of the AFC South is on the line. The Colts are minus 3.5 in this game. We talked about Tennessee with their comeback overtime win. And the offense still kind of sputters a little bit. Indianapolis coming off a impressive win. They were down by 2 touchdowns at the half to a very good Green Bay Packer football team. They found a way to take the lead. Green Bay, with Aaron Rodgers, found a way to shove it in overtime. Indy got the turnover, the crucial turnover in overtime, and that dude with the sweet goggles, Rodrigo Blankenship, buried a field goal. They won. I had mentioned a couple of weeks ago, the Titans are trying to be the Colts because I don't think the Tennessee's defense is good as Indianapolis, but today, Indianapolis star defensive end pass rusher, DeForest Buckner, went on the COVID list. And I don't know if it's contact tracing and things like that. I don't think he has COVID. I think he ends up playing. This is a tough one. It's 3.5. That hook scares me. What do you think?
Tennessee.
You like Tennessee?
Yep.
They have to win this game. They lost the game down in Tennessee. I think the Colts bury him. I think the Colts bury him and take complete control of the division. I'm laying the 3.5 with the Colts. How many games do we have different? That's quite a few.
I don't know.
So somebody's gonna be under 500 at the start of week 13.
Off, baby. My picks are right. I'm going with the Giants in the next one too.
My goodness, Dan's ahead of the whole thing. The New York Giants, as Dan alluded to, the 3-7 New York Giants, just a smidge out of first place in that NFC East. They go to play the Cincinnati Bengals. The Bengals are 2-7-1. The Giants are 5.5-point favorites. The over/under on this game is 43. The Giants come off bye. Division up for grabs. We already mentioned this numerous times. And you're right. You're pro Giants, and I kind of am too. If Daniel Jones doesn't turn the football over, they're not a bad football team.
No, they're not. And I'm telling you, the only ray of hope the Bengals had was Joe Burrow. And all those dudes on that team, he's gone. And that was the only bright spot that they had.
Dan's
and
talking.
He's gone. So the Giants, the Bengals checked out. They're done.
Dan's talking about a deflated football team, and I get it. I mean, they lost their leader, and it was a bad injury to Joe Burrow. I was hoping it was just an ACL, but it's an ACL, it's an MCL. I hope he's ready to come back for training camp or the start of the 2021 season because he's a barrel of monkeys and fun to watch. I mean, he's going to be a great player. I mean, this just reinforces to Cincinnati ownership. You better get an offensive line. You better get an offensive line because you got a great piece here. You better keep him upright. And they're going to be. It's not going to be long. It's going to be a year or two, and they're going to be contending for that division under him because he's a great player. But Dan mentions that they're deflated. The Giants are in the thick of a division race here. I like them as well. I'm going to lay the points at 5.5 with the Giants. All right. Next game up is the LA Chargers going to play the Buffalo Bills. The Chargers are 3-7. The Buffalo Bills are 7-3. The Bills are 5.5-point favorites. The Chargers, they come off a win against the Jets, not terribly impressive. Herbert continues to impress and certainly is definitively the rookie of the year now since Joe Burrow went out.
I still think it's Joe Burrow.
There's no way. Herbert's playing great. I mean, Burrow's not going to play the rest of the year.
The rookie of the year?
Yeah, for sure. I mean,
that's weak.
Herbert's playing amazing. I tell you what.
I think he's playing amazing. Come on.
The defense isn't great from the Chargers. They've had some injuries and things like that. Their offense is dangerous. I like their offense a lot. I mean, they put up points on a regular basis, week in, week out. They go to play Buffalo. Buffalo is off bye. They got a little bit of breathing room now because the Dolphins, I said, suffered that loss out in Denver, which I was surprised about. So they got that one-game lead still. And I think Miami comes into Buffalo here soon. But in any event, line is Buffalo Bills minus 5.5. Who do you like, Dan?
Bills.
I don't. I like the Chargers in this game. I don't like them necessarily to win. I think this is going to be a close game. The Bills' defense doesn't impress me. The offense sometimes looks really good and sometimes it doesn't. There's too much back and forth in regards to consistency for me to like the Bills at this 5.5 number. I'm on the Chargers plus 5.5. All right, the last game that we have in the 1 o'clock slot is the Las Vegas Raiders. The 6-4 Raiders. They go across the country to play the Atlanta Falcons. The Falcons are 3-7. The line on this game is the Raiders -3. They played a really fun game on, what was it, Sunday night? It was Sunday night. against the Kansas City Chiefs.
They should have beat the Chiefs.
That would have been
second time.
That would have been unbelievable because the Chiefs have been sitting with 2 losses, both to the Raiders. I'm not going to say much about the Raiders' defense. I mean, you're playing that juggernaut of an offense, Kansas City. I mean, it's hard to stop that thing. What I was impressed by was Derek Carr.
Yeah.
I mean, and I think John Gruden is in a groove in regards to play calling. He had Kansas City off balance all night again. And Derek Carr looked awesome. I mean, there's no fans in the stands, and you can hear the quarterback talking more and more because of the lack of fans in the stadium. It was awesome. You could tell he's growing up and has complete control of offense. I mean, he's looking and smiling at a Kansas City defender, going, I know you're coming. Don't worry about it. He's talking. He's confident. It's a confident football team. I wish the black hole was there. The Falcons are 3-7. They come off a loss in New Orleans.
Is that shocking?
Not really. I mean, there was a lot of question marks with New Orleans, and we'll talk about them with the quarterback change with Taysom Hill playing in place of Drew Brees. It was the New Orleans defense. I mean, they battered Matt Ryan last week. They have offensive line problems with Atlanta. I want to say Matt Ryan got sacked 8 times. I mean, that's a big number. The Raiders are -3. Like I said, I think Gruden's in a groove with his play calling. I think that team is playing with a lot of confidence, even though they're coming off an L. I like the Raiders -3 in this game. It's one of my favorite lines on the board this week, actually.
I'm going with the Raiders on this, and like they celebrated when they were in Kansas City and beat them, this week when they beat them, they're having Chick-fil-A on a Sunday in Atlanta.
Yes, the notorious, very famous, and very popular, at least with my children, Chick-fil-A. They're not open on Sundays. I think that's some ownership religious thing. I don't know what that exactly is.
Yeah, they're closed on Sunday, but there's a Chick-fil-A in the stadium.
It doesn't beat chicken gizzards, right? Or turkey gizzards, or whatever this is.
Eat the gizzards, man. A little hot sauce.
I might get the hiccups out. It makes me nervous.
That's fine.
All right. We are both on the Raiders, -3. All right, the San Francisco 49ers, they're 4-6. They go to travel in division to play the Los Angeles Rams. The Rams are 7-3. The Rams are 7-point favorites. The over-under on this game is 45. The 49ers are done. I mean,
unfortunately, they're done. But
it's the injuries.
Still scary, though, this game.
You know what's funny, though? I mean, the 49ers were in the Super Bowl last year against the Chiefs, and were very close to winning it.
Yeah.
And Jimmy Garoppolo was a quarterback, and everybody's like, yeah, Jimmy Garoppolo, he's awesome. He's franchise. There's question marks whether or not he's the quarterback going forward for this football team. I mean, that's how fickle this is and how quickly things can turn on you. The Rams, they're coming off another very good performance in Tampa Bay, and they beat the Bucs. We'll talk about the Bucs. I think they're the next game on the board, maybe the second next game up on the board. But I tell you what, the Rams control their own destiny in that division now. Yeah. I mean, they won against Seattle. And they beat Arizona. So they control their own destiny here. They're going to be a tough out in the playoffs because they have a good defense. I mean, they got Aaron Donald in the middle. Leonard Floyd is an ex-Bear, which drives me crazy. I want to say he has like 8 sacks on the year or something. He didn't have anywhere close to that with the Bears. I mean, they got defensive playmakers on all the levels. They got Jalen Ramsey in the background who plays with a ton of confidence. He's a great player. They're going to be a tough out come, January in regards to the playoff picture. I'm gonna lay the points to the Rams at -7 just because of the accumulation of injuries for the 49ers. I mean, I think Dan you talked about this. The team's packing it in, and we're starting to get to that time where teams do start to pack it in. Maybe they play for their own personal contracts, but they're not completely focused.
Olivier Vernon
playing for a contract?
Yeah. I too am on the Rams on this one. They're going to beat the 49ers, but I'm still not sold on the Rams because I haven't seen any deep ball threat from the offense. With
Robert Woods?
Robert
Woods. Cooper Kupp under the middle. They got weaponry.
It's under the middle. The underneath shit. I mean, that kid's a stud. He plays good, but
there were a lot of balls that
went stretching the field for me.
Went underneath to Cooper Kupp, and they played like 3 running backs: Henderson, Akers, and all these guys. They got multiple parts.
The defense is legit.
It is legit, and I like McVay a lot. All right, we spent a lot of time on that football game. The next game up, the New Orleans Saints. They travel out to Denver. We
should spend a little time on this.
I don't know about that. The Saints are 8-2.
What?
The Broncos are 4-6. Dan No, we got to talk about this. We got to give these people some nuggets in regards to which way they should go. And I'm not sure we're going to
the
pick
Denver Broncos.
Yes, the Denver Broncos. The Saints are minus 5.5 in this game. Last week, Taysom Hill, like we mentioned earlier, he took the reins because Drew Brees was injured. He's
okay.
Yeah, okay is right. It's Swiss Army knife kind of guy, and then he had to throw the ball from the pocket a few times. He was okay. Their defense is locked in. Their defense played great against Atlanta. Speaking of defense, that's what the Broncos bring to the menu in regards to their team. We talked about them beating in-laws team, the Dolphins, last week. The defense is good. Locke's questionable. He played pretty well against the Dolphins. The Dolphins have a pretty good defense. I don't know. The Saints are minus 5.5. I have a feeling which way you're going. Where are you going?
Saints.
I'm not.
Defense is good. No, come on.
The Broncos defense is good too.
It's mediocre. I think we see Jameis in this. We get a cameo from Jameis.
Perfect. He'll probably throw a pick.
He can launch it. The altitude again. He's going to throw it like 75 yards in the air.
I mentioned I referred to as Vic Fangio's defense of the Denver Broncos being a blurry defense, meaning it confuses quarterbacks in regards to who's coming and who's not coming and things like that. I don't think Taysom Hill's seen enough of this as a pocket passer and things like that. I like the Broncos getting to 5.5. I don't think they can win this game. I like it to stay close. Dan and I are in disagreement once again. All right, next game up on the slate, the Kansas City Chiefs. They're 9-1 record. They go to play the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Bucs are 7-4. Chiefs are 3.5-point favorites. We talked about that game against Las Vegas last week. And I keep on referring to the Chiefs offense as a juggernaut or a Ferrari, whatever you want to say. They were down in that game, but don't give Patrick Mahomes the ball with a minute left.
What the hell?
He's like Michael Jordan in clutch. I mean, it's ridiculous how good that team is.
40 or whatever.
Yeah, I mean,
went down the field and scored.
I know the Steelers.
Unbelievable.
I know the Steelers are undefeated and they're 10-0. I still think the Chiefs are. I don't know who the favorite to win the Super Bowl is right now in Vegas. I still bet it's the Chiefs. They go to play the Buccaneers, like I mentioned. The Bucs are coming off a pretty flat performance against
How about that cannon fire?
I didn't think it was that bad.
It's freaking weak as hell.
What do you
Get out of here! Bang, bang.
What do you?
It sounds like muskets. Like there's a dude standing there freaking with a musket loader.
What are you looking?
Ain't no cannon. I want to hear a cannon fire.
This is ridiculous. You're looking.
Everybody's heard of cannon fire.
Are you looking for like World War I
Yeah,
cannons?
I want to bang. I want you to know you're the enemy, and you just got scored upon, and bang.
What I know
Pack your shit.
Whether or not the cannon is sissy or World War I level or not, it didn't
funny.
go off enough last week for them to win the game against the Rams. I tell you what.
Nobody in the stands, and you can hear bang. It's like someo's up there with a cap gun and a microphone.
Every time we talk about the Bucs, I lose this guy to cannon fire. I don't know.
It pisses me off. I don't know.
You didn't let it go. Frozen. Let it go.
You've been to the Cleveland Indians games, right?
Yes.
When they score a home run.
Fireworks. That's different than cannon fire.
Well, you can do the same thing. These pyrotechnic guys, make that cannon sound better than that.
This is like the third week in a row we went
off
on this cannon fire
I get
thing.
on something and I get pissed.
Well, stop out. You know what pisses me off? We're going to talk about my team next, the Bears, but that's not yet. In any event,
I'm going with the Chiefs.
Last week, it looked to me like Tom Brady was showing his age. I don't know. I mean,
yeah,
he's missing some throws and things like that. I think the Chiefs are going to overwhelm them too. I mean, this is a game that the Bucs need to win, but that Ferrari offense that the Chiefs put on out on the field, I'm laying the points down with the Chiefs minus 3.5.
Unless they have better cannon fire.
Oh my God! For the love of God! All right, I need another chicken gizzard for that, or beer. This is too much. I can't yell this.
Put some hot sauce on there.
I did. All right, here we go. I might need it for my Chicago Bear football game. That is the end of the 4 o'clock slate. Sunday Night Football. The Chicago Football Bears in their 5-5 record. They started out 5-1, haven't won a game since October 18th. I'm a tad bitter about it.
Do you want another one?
Another beer? Yeah, a little help. No, you got the other one.
I don't care.
We're not even going to break this for editing. They can throw him?
I'm not going to catch that shit.
He can't catch it. He's going to knock over the set. All right.
Whoa! Beer tasting number 2.
They're two different beers,
I
Brian.
know.
We need to get the same beer. I don't care which one you grab.
Edgy Elf? Is this for next week?
Well, it's apparently this week.
Oh, wait. What did you get?
I got yours now. He just brought me the wrong one. You want to take that one? Thank you. All right, now we got to talk about another beer review. I told this show was going to go an hour.
Fantastic. I like another beer.
All right, this beer is from the Millersburg Brewing Company. Have you been there? That's not too far. What's that, an hour away, 45 minutes away?
Amish country. Some Amish beer. Look at the dude's got a beard on him.
It's called Edgy Elf, ale brewed with spices. The alcohol content is 6.25%. We told you this was the Thanksgiving Deluxe Edition, and we're going to let it rip. Dan's into it already. I'm talking about the can presentation. There's an elf with a porn stash smoking a candy cane on the front of it.
That's better than the one we just had.
All right, hold on. I still
The one we just had. The Three Hoes. I like the name. Three Hoes.
Edgy Elf, you don't like that name?
Edgy Elf is good too.
We got to start ranking. This is completely different.
Yeah,
What
it's
kind
good.
of spices? All ale brewed with spices. Didn't tell me what kind of spices.
That's good. Yeah, it is like a porn star elf.
Yeah, he's smoking a candy cane.
Yeah.
I don't know what's coming out. Is that a vape? I don't know. All right, we're way off track, but it is the deluxe edition once again.
Back to the Bears, baby. I'm picking the Bears because there's no way that 8.5 is too big.
Danny,
Okay.
let me introduce the game. The show's
Going with
completely
the
off the
Bears.
rails. The show's off the rails. The Chicago Football Bears, 5-5. I mentioned they haven't won a game since October 18th. They started off 5-1. They go to play the Green Bay Packers. The Packers are 7-3. Dan mentioned it already. The Packers are 8.5-point favorites. The over/under on this game is 45.5. Let's start with the Chicago Bears. Obviously, we know they have O-line problems. When we last saw them a couple of weeks ago, Nick Foles went down. It looks, Matt Nagy has not declared it exactly, but it looks like Mitch Trubisky is back in running the show, which I'm very happy about. I mentioned last week when we went off like on another tangent, the Bears didn't even play. I equated Nick Foles to having the ability of the George Howell statue outside of Soldier Field. I can't stand that. At least they're going to bring some mobility to the quarterback position. When Mitch Trubisky started the first 3 games of the year, the Bears did run the football better. I don't know if it's a threat of Trubisky and his mobility. I certainly like what they're going to do this week in regards to at least making the quarterback change. They got a great defense, and we'll talk about the Bears a little bit more. But the Packers, we talked about them coming off that loss where they had complete control of the game. They were by 14 at the half. They let it slip away.
Defense is a mess. I'm not sold on that. Green Bay's become one-dimensional to me. I mean, it's Aaron Rodgers and what's the receiver?
Devontae Adams.
Devontae Adams. That's fine. You're going against the Bears defense. They're the best on third down. They're the best in the red zone. I'm going with the Bears because it's 8.5. I don't think the Bears win it, but
This guy's pumping me up here. I'm ready to run through a wall, I think. I don't know.
Packers aren't winning this by 8.5 points. There's no freaking way. No way.
The Packers have a great offense. And Dan said one-dimensional. I don't agree with that. Aaron Jones, and they run the ball. They run the ball pretty good as well. The Bears have a very good defense, and it's not like these are unfamiliar foes.
When was the last time he had 100 yards rushing?
Who, Aaron Jones?
Yeah.
I don't know. Where's our stat guy? No, stat guy doesn't have it. All right. I also like
He's
the Bears.
averaging 50 yards a game.
It's got to be more than that. Anyway,
Yeah.
I'm not going to dispute it. We don't have the stats in front of us. I know my neighbor Brian's in the background. I see him working his phone like this. He's trying to look it up. It's Aaron, by the way. In any event, we're good. We don't need to know any of that information. I like the Bears getting 8.5 as well. I like the fact that I mentioned they're familiar foes. The Bears have kept these games close recently.
He's rushed twice for 100 yards. Week two, 100 yards.
All right.
And what else? What's his average after that?
Like 60.
60.
All right,
I
we're-
think it's down to 50. You're looking quick, but I think my stat machine's working faster. 50.
All right. Enough from the peanut
Like
gallery.
8 beers in. I'm Bears, baby.
Dan's on the Bears, like over the top on the Bears. I like the Bears to keep on the number. I have a hard time seeing them come out of Lambeau with a win. It would be amazing. That is Sunday Night Football. The Monday Night Football game is the Seattle Seahawks. They go with their 7-3 record across the country to play the Philadelphia Eagles. As I mentioned, the first place Philadelphia Eagles by a smidge at 3-6-1. The Seahawks are 5-point favorites in this game. They're coming off a big Thursday night football win against the Arizona Cardinals in a pretty entertaining football game where they had complete control of the game, and then Arizona had a chance at the end. It didn't happen. We talked about the Seahawks, and they have a fun offense, with Metcalf and Lockett and Russ throwing the ball. They kind of have this kind of committee of running backs that seem to be in and out of the lineup with Carson and these other fellows. Defense is bad. Carlos Dunlap has kind of injected some, life into the defense.
They tried filling a need. Carlos Dunlap filled it last week, in my opinion. And they're going against the Eagles, who, damn, their offensive line is atrocious. I mean,
yeah, you watched the whole game against Philadelphia last week.
Man, I know that Peters guy's played in the league for 17 years, but good grief, I'm sorry, dude. You need to retire. You're not. You can't with these younger guys. And I know Dunlap's not much younger, but I'm telling you, after watching that game, holy smokes, the Seahawks in this one.
I've been stomping for Jalen Hurts to get a chance at quarterback. I mean, he's got a lot more mobility than Carson Wentz does. Carson Wentz leads the National Football League in interceptions. He also leads the National Football League in fumbles. I mean, you turn the ball over, you lose a turnover battle. The number's like 80+%. You lose the game.
The punt is the best play in the football in any football league. The ability to protect the ball and punt it.
Yeah,
even if you're not going the right way, you can punt it.
You certainly have to protect the football. I've been stomping for this. Doug Peterson's been staunch. Carson Wentz is my quarterback, things like this. I don't think that Philadelphia has the talent on that football team, and Dan mentioned how leaky the offensive line is with how good the Seattle Seahawks offense is. I expect the Seahawks to put up 27, 34 points in this game, and I don't think the Eagles can keep up. I like the Seahawks as well at -5. That's been the entire slate of the National Football League. There was nobody on bye. I'm sure this show is really long this week. Not only did we have a long, we called it the deluxe edition.
Long, and I hope everybody watched.
Now they'll watch. We got more to come. We got the bonus pick.
Notre Dame.
The bonus game that we did select this week is the second ranked per the college football playoff voters. That came out this yesterday, Tuesday. They have ranked the Notre Dame Irish 2. As it goes, Bama's ranked 1, Irish are ranked 2. Clemson is 3, and the Ohio State football Buckeyes are 4. The 19th ranked North Carolina Tar Heels are who the Irish go to visit. The line on this game is Notre Dame -4.5. This game is being played on Friday at 3:30, so don't miss this. It's not on the traditional Saturday day. The Irish, they're down 2 offensive linemen. That's kind of the bread and butter of the team. The offensive line is really strong, and it allows the offense to look good. They're a very good defensive team. North Carolina Tar Heels, they got a good offense. Their defense is pretty leaky. We both like Mac Brown, but here's what I like, and the defining factor and the reason why I'm going to pick this game in favor of Notre Dame is that they've had 2 weeks to prepare for this game. Right. They were up by, their Chuck Lee, I think is his name, the defensive coordinator for Notre Dame. He's had 2 weeks to dissect this, North Carolina offense. I think they'll come up with a good game plan. Obviously, the national championship is in sight for Notre Dame. I don't think they have a letdown. I like them -4.5 in this game.
I agree. Mac Brown is a heck of a coach, and I think North Carolina is going to be prepared. But Notre Dame's got 2 weeks to play. They knew the center was going to be hurt. He had foot surgery. The guard who's missing, I'm not sure what his injury was, but I don't think they're surprised. So, this is stuff that's been worked on for at least 10 days. So right. I don't anticipate a hiccup. I'm going with Notre Dame on this one as well.
Dan and I both like the preparation factor to pick Notre Dame -4.5. Last week, let's talk about that. We both picked the Buckeyes -20 points, and they had a 21-point lead at half, and obviously that dwindled away. Indiana came back. They ended up winning the game Ohio State winning the game by 7. So in any event, that's your full slate. That's your bonus pick. It's Thanksgiving. I love it. I love Thanksgiving. I love the holidays. I'm a big fan. Happy Thanksgiving to
Happy
all
Thanksgiving.
of our listeners and viewers out there. This has been week 12 of On Top the Cage.